should warn you, I'm talking out of my depth on this subject, but it's so intriguing to me, the research and the implications of it all. I can't contain myself, so don't put on you. A while back, one of our grandsons, Brigham, was giving a talk in church. He started it with this story. A man was talking to God, and he said, "You know, you're not the only one that can create life. I've learned how to do it myself. I just take a bucket of dirt and God said, hold it right there. Get your own dirt." He might have also said, get your own brain, since that's what the man had been using. And that's the subject, human brain. In all the universe, there are things that are a lot bigger, of course, more impressive in some ways. Some are exotic and mysterious, like black holes. But in terms of organization, of capacity, compactly packaged, I don't know anything that compares with the human brain. It's astounding. Latest science has been researching, trying to slice the brain up so they can get an idea of how it's held together. The brain, of course, is full of neurons, brain cells, and they're interconnected by dendrites, which carry electricity, as I understand it, electrical charges, or sort of like tubes. They carry chemicals as well. Brain functions on both of those. I've already said more than I know on the subject, except it's so intriguing. So they're trying to slice this brain up, this 3.5 to 5 pounds of gray jello we're carrying up here, and all intertwined with these neurons and these connections. It's like having 100 billion neurons and strings, threads in a ball, trying to slice that up and see where they're all going. Pretty complicated. They started out with worms. Worms have 300 neurons. They don't need too many more. They don't write a lot of poetry, don't do a lot of astrophysics computations, and so they get along okay with 300. Okay. Then it went up to mice, which they're working on now. Mice have 100 million. That's a pretty good jump. They hope to eventually start to analyze the human brain. The human brain, we have 100 billion, 1,000 times more than the mouse. And these connecting wires and tubes, there are millions of miles of those, all tucked up in here. Can you believe the packaging skill of the brain? Well, this isn't to compare us with worms. We are smarter. Sometimes I'm not sure if I'm smarter than mice. Sometimes I try to catch them and they get away. But the point is, we have an incredible tool up there to work with. And all the interactions, one neuron can affect another one in various ways we're still finding out. Out of all these combinations, multiple, virtually unlimited combinations, come our personality, our perspectives, what we are as human beings. And to be able to handle this much data and organize it, absolutely stunning. But that may be the tip of the iceberg, because the brain does other things: empathy, love, estimations, planning, goals. How do those come about? It's just stunning, incredible to me. And I don't know if the scientists are ever going to parse this all together or not. Someone said if the brain was simple enough for us to understand, we'd be too simple to understand it. That may be true. I also think that research on the brain is like a man climbing a mountain. The higher you get, the more the horizon spreads out before you, the more there is to learn. I don't think we're ever going to capture all of it. But it's certainly intriguing. A few centuries ago, the philosophers were trying to analyze the brain, and they called it the magic weaving machine, because a weaving machine was the most complicated machine they had. Well, we kind of chuckle about that now, but I bet you sometime in the future they will be looking at us, comparing the brain to the computer, and they will chuckle at us. It's a stunning, incredible thing. Sort of, there are apparently other nerve centers, knowledge centers, and we don't know if the brain acts on them or they act on the brain. There's probably a combination of both. But this I know. that something this incredible, if we had to buy it, no way we could afford it. But if there's a testimony to me and an evidence that God is all-powerful and all-knowing and all-loving, it is that he would give to each of us, free of charge, this incredible instrument. And what does he ask of us? Use it, develop it, and learn to love your fellow man and to love me with it.